probably the most prominent trend at the moment for us is the move to sort of accessibility with dining and food, and making it, and also being very community focused. I think that whilst it's not about, there's been a lot of casual dining for a long time, and it's about taking it to the next level. It's about well executed food, but done simply and at an accessible price point.
There's always changing trends in our industry, most definitely. But I think staying on top of food, and whether it's a champagne froth, or whether it's a deconstructed dish, and every kind of few months there seems to be another trend, and this one will come and this one will go, and yeah, I think, we just try to stay on top, keep on top of the magazines that are telling us what to do, the TV shows that are telling us what to do. That communication skills, we really need good customer service. I think we're in a country where we have fantastic produce and livestock. We have wonderful chefs and a great variety of dining out there. We have very terrible customer service, and it's an area that we really need to improve on.
Something that we're very much focused on at the moment is training and development, and being able to paint a picture for these kids so that they can see a path through to being, if they want to be the bar manager of Palmer & Co. or the head chef of Mr. Wong, or there is actually a way of getting there. And so this is a big focus for us at the moment, training and development, and trying to inspire the kids is a big one. I think that a lot of them don't really understand what the hospitality industry is about. You're told that it's not really a career, or people think, you just do it while you're going to your real job, while you're training at university to go to your real career. And I think that's, the way I sort of see it is, that's okay to a certain extent, but it's a fantastic. The hospitality industry gives you skills that you can't get anywhere else. You get, and particularly for young people, there's an amazing path for them, and quite often, I think you don't realise that you want to be in the hospitality industry until you're a little way down the path. And we quite often see people that are studying law or studying communications and finished a degree, and then they just completely change and they say, no, I'm going to be a chef, and I'm going to start cooking. And it's because of the passion and the love for the industry and the people. It gives you insight that you just can't get in many careers.
We need apprentices in our industry, most definitely. I love apprentices. I love seeing training and giving knowledge and sharing knowledge to them. But finding people to work as an apprentice is one thing, and I think the wages need to be addressed, most definitely. The conditions for apprentices can sometimes be very tough, and their bosses can be very harsh. And I think we need to be really responsible about taking young people on and nurturing and giving information and treating them with a little bit of respect. Trying to keep long-term staff in that area also means about training, increasing their training and qualifications, and promoting them, giving them more responsibility and letting them have some sort of career path rather than just being a waiter or a bar person. You really need to open up career paths to them and show them that they can go somewhere in an industry.
We focus a lot on culture. As Adam was saying, trying to create the right environment where people actually want to come to work, where they enjoy it, where they're learning and it's enjoyable, and they're passionate, they have the right attitudes. We very much are looking at how we expand into the community while still being sustainable and creating an interesting range of businesses that can really grow from the talent pool that we currently have, to develop things properly and taking the time to really question and challenge each other around what is the best way to do things, and what's going to get the best result. And I think that Coogee is a good example of that. It's really sort of been embraced by the community, and it's an iconic site. Technology there's no doubt that it's transforming our business at the moment on multiple levels. I think the biggest one for hospitality is always cost control and trying to manage the data and have access to the information. And we're undergoing a huge transformation project at the moment, and there's now software that sort of can take your business from end to end, from bringing a staff member on, from pushing out an advertisement through social media, through the company intranet, using the internal staff to go to access their networks and the social media and LinkedIn and so forth, to onboarding, to bringing them right through the training programs online and induction and so forth, and preparing people. And the savings involved with this is extraordinary, very big. Then there's the information and data that, having access to live information and being able to manage your business, knowing exactly where you're at any one time, instead of having to be constantly forecasting and constantly trying to guess where you're going to be and where you're going to end up. We actually know now. I think it's interesting to see with smartphones, reservations and the way people are choosing their venues, and like you said, very, very well informed when they're making their decisions. We're even seeing our restaurants, like the most established restaurants like Est, which has a fairly older demographic that comes to it. More than 50% of their bookings are made with a smartphone. We spend so much time reporting. A manager might spend nearly 2 hours every evening at the end of their shift doing financial reporting and working out, which now can be completely automated, and they can have a better work-life balance because they get home to their families quicker. They are fresher when they come to work. They enjoy their job more. They don't have to focus on menial tasks.
Yeah, well, I suppose out on the cold front on the dining room floor, we're definitely seeing people using iPads and mobile ordering pads in their hand, and that's what's happening out there for sure. We're still on a Micros system where you've got to walk back to a terminal and punch your order in, and our floor staff are at the tables with pen and paper in their hand and writing it and then going back and transferring it onto a screen through Micros. And it works very well. On saying that, I've dined at a restaurant recently where a young waiter came up with a very small mobile device to take orders and hardly looked at us and spent, a good part of 4 minutes scrolling through trying to find that, and then the option to add on. And I thought, does he know what he's doing here? I mean, and then the next person, and it was like, oh, hang on. And I thought, oh my God, this shouldn't be happening at the table. Yeah, and we've gone forward indeed. I mean, a piece of paper and write it down and do your adjustments back at the screen, which I'm very happy running a Micros system and seeing it done like that. On saying that, like every other technology, it goes down. Our system drops down and the screen goes blank, and you think, oh, bloody hell, there's people waiting for meals, and we're back to shoving a piece of paper out on the little rack in the kitchen and working off that and passing it down the line to the next chef, and that still has to happen. That's life, and relying on those screens all the time can be really dangerous. On the upside, when they're working, they can be really efficient and time-saving too, and we need that, and they tie very much into stock control and seeing what's already been used and what's left still available to sell on the floor. So keeping those up to date are really important. It's all about time. It's always been about time. We have the preparation period as a chef where our restaurant opens for evenings only, so we don't do lunch. We're in a little back road in Balmain, and we do a really great trade. But our kitchen starts at like 2 in the afternoon, and our doors open at 6. And definitely your kitchen staff could be lulled into led into a false sense of security that it's all calm and well in the kitchen for the 4 hours, and then we get slammed, and everyone wants their food now, and there's multitudes of different dishes coming up, and that printing machine is my worst enemy as it spits the dockets out at me. And that's still the reality of it. It's still about time-saving devices, and there's many catering companies out there, and ComCater and a number of them with great solutions on how to save time, and saving 1 minute to 3 minutes is gigantic in the middle of service. While you think, oh, it'll only save a minute, and you do have to weigh up the cost of buying new equipment and the training and making this new equipment work. So, technology needs to be looked at very carefully before you introduce it, as far as the cost and, like say, the ramifications of whether it breaks down or what if the network goes down, what do we do there? And having contingency plans on how to deal with that. And again, I've been in another situation at a restaurant where they just couldn't take any more coffee orders because the cash register's gone offline and we can't take your money, so we can't take your order. And I was like, what? I'm sure the owner's not here to hear that. But yeah, like, turn the key and open it and use a calculator. I mean, God, we're not taking any more orders because the cash register's gone down.
I think you do have to be careful about technology, and I think Adam just touched on it there. I think that what we've certainly found is that new technology isn't always good technology, isn't the best technology, and that it can be your undoing very quickly. And doing your due diligence and making sure that the companies that you're dealing with have really thought through their solutions is the big thing, because there's a huge amount of young app developers out there that they come in and see us day in, day out, but they've only got 2 people in their office and they're a startup and they've got no support, and and their application goes down. We've got a waitlist application like that, and when you've got 100 people on the wait list at Mr. Wong and it goes down for 5 minutes on a Friday night and you're doing 400 for dinner, it's not a pretty scene. So it's a real mess. So you do have to be careful. For the hospitality industry, advertising is not really viable. It doesn't get to the right. It doesn't get the right impact. It doesn't reach the right people. You don't get the right statistics back from it, and so just spraying it out into the Netherland is not really the way. So we focus on our customers and communicating directly with the customers, and like Grant said, a two-way conversation. For the first time, we run an event every March called March into Maryvale, which is a massive event that we put on to showcase all of our talent in our business, and for the first time ever this year, it was nearly 100% digital advertising. So we went out a lot through social media, Instagram, Facebook, and really stayed away from a lot of the traditional channels. And it was incredibly effective. Some of our chefs have 30 or 40,000 followers on Instagram, and Dan Hong, everybody that has a whole world waiting on his next shot every time he posts. But that's a really and when coming back to some of the feedback and the negative impacts that you can have with people writing bad reviews, what we find is we totally embrace it. We on our websites, we have website feedback. Anybody can write to us. We have people monitoring all the social channels all the time. We react. We personally, at a directorship level or high senior management level, we contact every single customer. We turn them around, and we make sure that we do everything we can to turn around every situation. It's not always possible, but the hospitality, it's full of people, and people make mistakes, and things do go wrong. And what we find is we really, really embrace the feedback, and we try and actually work as much as possible within those channels to help make it work.
Steph, we've moved on to social media as one of the major platforms for marketing and advertising our business. We're a small business. We certainly don't have dollars to waste and blow in magazines or out on radio or TV, so that's just not going to happen. It is, as it's always been, word of mouth, which is our biggest marketing tool, and only it's not word of mouth now. It's Facebook and it's Twitter and it's Instagram, and we get great responses. We've got great reviews. We run 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor, which is really fabulous for us. I look over the reviews. We're still a small restaurant in the fact that I don't have the time to be responding. What I do have the time to do is the kind of old-fashioned stuff that I still think works, and that's good customer service. It really is about not having the problems in the first place and about dealing with any problems in the dining room there while they're in the dining room. So we come back to a few major rules in our restaurant is to greet someone at the door. If you're in the middle of taking an order, I want you to just say, it won't be a moment, and go to the door, greet them. That's their first initial contact walking in the door. And the other last thing is when they're leaving, for the staff to say goodbye to them, to get to that door, open it for them if you can, to say goodbye, hope you enjoyed it, look forward to seeing you again. there too, look, that's old-fashioned stuff and it's still relevant today. Returning to the table after the meal's delivered is crucially important to me, that within a couple of moments of delivering those meals, you're back at the table and saying, is everything all right? From a kitchen side, I can send out another meal and solve the problem immediately if the curry was too hot. If it wasn't what they expected it was going to be from the menu description, I can handle all of that. That's not an issue. It's an issue if you haven't dealt with it and everyone's finished dining at the end of the meal and then you see a full plate and say, oh, what was wrong? Well, no one's going to wait for a meal now and eat on their own. The other way for approaching social media for us is, again, I don't have a team out there working on our social media. We do have cards on our tables with QR codes on them and explanations of how to download a QR reader, and it takes them straight to our website where they can like us, they can check in that they've been at Harvest, so that's really important. As waiters, another thing we tell them to do is when people give you a compliment, make the comment back that tell your friends, put it on social media, tell everyone on Facebook. And we literally say that to our customers. We had a great night tonight. We really loved the food. Fantastic. Make sure you tell everyone, go on social media. Oh, we will. And just to let them know that that's important to us, that really spreads the word. Yeah, they can make a couple of clicks. We run cooking classes as well, and they go really brilliantly. And again, they go on and do the advertising for us. As a chef, I was definitely offended many times over the last few years watching people let my food go cold while they got their cameras out and start photographing it. And I'd think, eat my food, what are you doing? And nowadays they even get up and do like a little rotation around the table, taking photo of and I think, oh my God, what are you doing? And now I don't really care if you eat cold food, just get it out there on social media and hopefully take good photos of my food too and get a good angle of it and spread the word for me. They're doing all the work for us nowadays. So really I'm happy that they're taking photos. I'm happy that they're sitting there and not talking to anyone anymore as they're checking in and telling their friends where they are and what they're eating. And I think, do you even know who you're dining with? But keep advertising for me. Yeah, that's right. Keep marketing for me. We used to laugh in the old days and think that, oh, look at that couple. They've been married a long time. They're not talking at all to each other.
Not anymore.
No, nowadays the young people aren't talking to each other either. No one's talking anymore.